show. But let's get to a team that Twitter thinks we're contractually obligated to talk about. Any guesses on who it is? It's the Lakers, because they hosted the Kings last night.
This is why my attitude is getting worse as the day goes on.
For LeBron, Richard, he's starting at center, and the Lakers are 3-0 on the season when he starts at that position, and he was all over the court in the first half.
Yeah, no, he was. Look, LeBron, and look, people might know this, but LeBron also likes to set narratives. I'll play center. I'll do this. If nobody wants to do it, if we're struggling with, playing big lineups, I'll play center. I'll get out at 39 years old and run the floor. That's what he does. He likes to set things up by example.
Well, something else that was notable last night was Russell Westbrook had 0 turnovers. It was the first game with no turnovers since 2016. So that's 407 straight games that he had a turnover in.
Yeah, no, look, you're not gonna spit on my head and tell me it's raining. Look, he only had 2 assists. He wasn't being aggressive. Now this play, speaking of aggressive, watch Alvin Gentry, ladies and gentlemen.
So the referees here, they are taking a look at this play. Fox clearly doesn't touch the ball here, but the refs, they decide that it should be a jump ball. So Alvin Gentry throwing his clipboard, clearly irate, but they're saying that there was no clear possession established, and Alvin Gentry can't believe it. So ensuing jump ball, LeBron wins, Russell Westbrook recovers, Fox and Gentry, they still can't believe it. Here's them after the game.
Before you asked me about that play, it's a horse rule in the NBA. The referees did exactly what they were supposed to do. It is the rule. They enforce the rule the way it is. And so if anything needs to be changed, the rule needs to be changed. I mean, I think there's got to be some common sense about, the basketball. We have the basketball right there. They started the clock. We didn't start the clock. It wasn't our error. And so we got punished, for a dumb rule. That's the bottom line. But it had nothing to do with the officials. All they did was do exactly what they were supposed to do. They enforced the rule. And so if anything needs to be changed, the rule needs to be changed.
Ooh, I think there may be some fines coming for Alvin Gentry. But Richard, does he have a point?
I don't know if fines are, because he's saying all they did was enforce the rule, but it is a stupid rule. And let me say this why. It's kind of like the Tuck rule. Sometimes things happen, and then they have to tweak the rule. They have never seen anything like this. Look, to De'Aaron Fox's credit, he looks up, and he's like, yo, the clock has started, because a lot of times players, what they will do is they will allow the ball to bounce, let their guys go, and then De'Aaron Fox can get a full head start. So he points this out, and they're like, well, by the letter of the law, and this is real, without clear possession, it turns into a jump ball. But that is not what the rule was trying to accomplish, and ultimately it went against Sacramento in the worst time possible. But the referees, they're just following the rules, and rules are rules.
They're just doing their job, but Perk, should the rules change?
The rules should change. I mean, look, it's a lot of rules in place. It's a lot of rules that have been in place even when I was playing that I didn't abide by, that I didn't like. And I think one thing we do know about Adam Silver, in my opinion, is the best commissioner in sports. And I feel like the way that he's been working with the Players Association on multiple things, I feel like that they will come together and figure out a way to resolve this. I mean, I'm glad Coach Gentry spoke up in his post-game interview. He always speaks his mind. Great person, great coach. I played for him with the Pelicans. But, I feel like Adam Silver will do his job like he always do and make the necessary adjustments.
Well, let's take a look at the other side, because the Lakers, they only had 5 turnovers last night. Westbrook, no turnovers, as I mentioned, for the first time since 2016. So, Perk, was this the version of Westbrook that the Lakers are going to need to win a title?
I mean, yeah, but look, here's the thing, right? I overreact to Russ. The world overreact to Russ. Russ has already shown us who he is, and that's okay. Okay, Russ is a guy that if he's up at base, he's going to go for the home run or he's going to strike out. He's not okay with going to first base or not okay with going with second base, and that's okay. So at the end of the day, look, Russ is a guy that plays with high energy. He plays with a lot of speed. At times, he's going to have a lot of turnovers because this is who Russell Westbrook is. Now, is this the right way to play? Is this going to win you championships? Absolutely not. And here's another thing, Malika, since Richard is not listening, being disrespectful, here's another thing. When we talk about the Lakers, let's not overreact to them winning a couple games, because when you go back and look at their 20 games A lot of those 20 games, except for 2 of them, was against teams below 500. Like, they don't have quality wins yet for me to just jump up and say, oh, this is how Russ need to play. He did it against the Sacramento Kings, the same Sacramento Kings that Coach Gentry had to apologize to the fans for because of how poorly they played in front of them at home.
Oh, well, Alvin Gentry should never apologize, Malika. First of all, this is a poorly constructed team. Like, they're not that good of a team, so good for them. I will say this about Russ. He was 7 for 19. He was 7 for 19. And yes, while he had 0 turnovers, he also had 2 assists. Is this the MVP Russ that they brought in? Is this the triple-double monster that we've seen for the last 7-8 years? No. Russ has to find a happy medium. He can't go 0 assists, 2 turnovers, 7 for 19, and pat himself on the back. Russ demands more of himself than that, and so do the Lakers. So it's okay to dial it all the way back. Look, if I'm turning the ball over 7-8 times, it's okay to reset and be like, hey, look, I'm just going to score. I'm just going to make the obvious play. I'm not going to go full steam ahead all the time like we see Russ, but this is not one of those things where we should be patting him on his back for 0 turnovers when he only had 2 assists. Means he wasn't being aggressive.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming, sports, and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.